So.
Know about it.
Order. Question number 8. Dr. David Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Economic Development and asks, what concerns, if any, does he have about the state of the South Island economy, given the ANZ Regional Trends report shows that it shrank by 0.8% in the June quarter?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the ANZ report does not in fact measure economic growth, but ANZ's own composite mix of confidence measures and a selected range of other indicators. Therefore, the ANZ report can't determine either positive or negative growth. Secondly, it's important that even in the measure of ANZ, that particular quarter was a negative one, but prior to that it's been very strong. And most interestingly, he highlights the South Island economy, where by most measures the South Island economy has been seen to be very strong. For example, unemployment at the end of the June quarter in the South Island economy was just 3.9%. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't have the sort of concerns that Mr. Clark is suggesting I have, but of course we're always continuing to work and improve in all regional economies.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question. Dr. David Clark.
Will the South Island enter recession in the September quarter?
Order. I didn't catch that. I'll ask the member to say it again. And can I ask? I need some less interjection from my right-hand side.
Will the South Island enter recession in the September quarter?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the measure that the member uses for the June quarter is not an economic growth measure. So by definition, if he's using that series, it cannot help him determine either growth or a recession. But Mr. Speaker, I would note that the South Island economy has been particularly strong. For example, in the performance of manufacturing indicators just out last week, the Canterbury region, which includes Nelson, Marlborough and West Coast, 54.6.
I apologise to the Minister, I have a point of order.
Sir, that was an incredibly straight question. I don't think they come much straighter than that. And the Minister has not addressed it and is giving a long answer.
So the member needs to be a bit more familiar with Speaker's rulings. He's hoping for a yes or no answer to his question. He's got
I don't know.
Order. Or I don't know. He's got no right to demand those three options. And I think the Minister was making a genuine attempt to give an answer. And if the Minister wishes to continue, he can. The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
So, Mr. Speaker, for the performance of manufacturing index for August, for example, which is in the September quarter, the wider Canterbury region 54.6 and the Otago Southland region at 64.6. So that and the employment figures and a number of other indicators suggest that no, the South Island is not entering recession.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr. David Clark.
Is it correct that there has been a 22% increase?
That interchange between both front benches is exactly what I'm talking about. I made a fairly definitive ruling. If it needs to be reinforced, I can do so by asking members to leave the chamber. I hope it doesn't get to that. Point of order, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not quite yet, Mr. Speaker. Maybe one day, Mr. Speaker. The issue that I want to raise with you is where ministers begin in answers basically saying they don't have the information or they perhaps can't give a full answer to the question, and then say, "But what I can say is," or words to that effect, and then go on to addressing a whole lot of other issues or picking off a relevant topic, but not one that actually addresses the answer. And so, therefore, the point of order, Mr. Speaker, is consistent with your earlier ruling today. I'm sure that you would rule those to be out of order in the way that you've been much stricter on questions as well.
Yeah, but no, I don't need any assistance on this one. If the member listened or goes back and reviews Hansard, I'd suggest. The question was, will the South Island enter a recession? Was interrupted by the questioner himself. But if the member go back and listen particularly to the latter part of the answer, the Minister said he did not think the South Island would enter a recession. Can't be more direct than that in answering a question. I think the member should be actually congratulating the Minister on this occasion. Supplementary question, Dr. David Clark.
Is it correct that there has been a 22% increase in South Island unemployment in the past year?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I don't have the members' numbers to hand, but I can tell him that as at the end of June this year, unemployment in the South Island was 3.9%, which is a low unemployment by anybody's reckoning right across the OECD.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr. David Clark.
Is it correct that employment in Canterbury fell by 5,000 people in the last quarter alone?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, again, I don't have that figure to hand, but I can tell the member that Canterbury unemployment is the lowest in the country at 3.3% in June of this year. If the member's looking for a challenge, I suspect he looks somewhere else.
Supplementary question, Dr David Clark.
Apart from being a family member of a senior EQC executive, how are young people in the South Island meant to find jobs when unemployment is rising and the economy is slipping into recession?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
We're ignoring the first part of the question, Mr Speaker. Unemployment in the South Island is 3.9%. In Canterbury, it is 3.3%. That is some of the lowest numbers on record. The member may try to seek a crisis out of those numbers, but actually he truly needs to go away and think up a new target. Mind you, if he wants to declare a crisis, I'm sure the economy will roar away just like it always does.
Fair enough. Question number 9, Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is